It was a beautiful spring morning for our ride on the Long Loop. On Grandview Road, we got a good view of Sharp Top off in the distance. At the base of Sharp Top is Sharp Top Baptist Church, established in 1876. Further up Grandview Road, we come to the lake. This dam was built in the 1940s for a resort area. It affords one of the nicest views in North Georgia. Note the white mark near the ridge of the mountains off to the right, our next stop. On the way there, we came across this unusual cloud formation. And then we were on the top. There's Sharp Top off in the distance. And here's the guys taking in the view. A little later, we were on State Route 60, on our way out of Morganton, heading for Suches. This is an area of sweeping turns, very enjoyable and used a lot by motorcyclists. Sharper turns are further on the road, but the camera wasn't working properly, so I don't have any recording of that. This is a nice area here, though. When we arrived in Suches, we took a turn and made our way out on State Route 180. We stopped at the 180 Diner for lunch. This is a small place off to the side of the road towards Wolfpan Gap, open only on Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays during the summer. Here's a view of the little place from the outside. I fiddled with the camera while we were waiting for lunch to arrive.
Not just, destroys or ruins.
And as a result, I have some kind of candid shots of Mark on the left and Frank in front. After lunch, we were on our way to Wolfpan Gap. This left-hander over the dam at Lake Winfield Scott has fooled a lot of people who have gone down the straight road. The next few minutes will give you a feel for Wolfpan Gap Road. It's a handful of miles with many, many turns. On this side of it, this would be the western side of Wolfpan Gap, they're fairly sharp turns, fairly short turns. As we get closer to Vogel State Park, there'll be a series of 180-degree turns. Very interesting. On the weekend, like this Saturday, you'll see many bicyclists also on Wolfpan Gap Road. We didn't come across too many other motorcyclists. I'm not quite sure why that is, because this is also a popular route for motorcyclists. Here's one of the many switchbacks that you'll encounter on Wolfpan Gap Road. This is one of the few straight stretches on Wolfpan Gap Road. If you look over to the right side of the road, you can see that this is very unforgiving should you wander off the pavement. The drop in places is at least 50-60 feet. We're probably halfway down the mountain now and getting close to Vogel State Park. We were surprised at how light the traffic was this day. This used to be part of an ad hoc racetrack that some of the motorcyclists used. That was a big loop that found its way down to Turner's Corner. But the state police and the Lumpkin County police have pretty much put a strong hand on that. So maybe that's why they've gone someplace else. Here we are at the stop sign just past Vogel State. Frank was running low on gasoline, so we headed north to a little country store where I pulled in and waited for Frank to fill up. Frank is pretty particular on the gas that he puts into his Harley, so I wasn't sure if he was really going to get some here. There's Frank. Nope, he's going to pass it by. Well, we've got siphon hoses, so if it comes to it, we can give him a gallon or so. Up the road a ways, 180 splits off of 129, and we'll take that turn. Well, here's a couple of motorcyclists. We're heading down here just a short way to pick up the Richard Russell Scenic Parkway. If we stay on this road, we could make our way to Brasstown Vault, which is also an interesting ride. Now we're headed on to the Richard Russell. The last time Frank and I were on the Richard Russell, it was iced in. We crossed over the top on a sheet of ice. Interesting ride that was. You can find it on a website. I think it's called Into the Clouds and Then Some. We stayed on the Richard Russell, which is a great road, until we came to the intersection of 75A, which I'm not going to record here because of the time limits that are there with YouTube. They do restrict you to 10 minutes, and we are already 9.5 minutes. Just a few scenes here so you can see the scenic views on the Richard Russell. The turns are nowhere near as sharp as Wolfman Gap. They're more like sweeping turns, with a few exceptions, but it's one after the other. The S kind of turns that allow you to get a rhythm up, which is something that motorcyclists really enjoy. This was another great ride, good fellowship, great weather. We'll do it again before the year is out.